go really fast. And then if you have questions afterwards, you can email me, and I'll be happy to answer you. I want to first of all talk to you a little bit about who's responsible for us. We registered with the Cambodian government in 2003, and so the social services are in charge of us there. We have to report to them, and they come and check up on our places. And occasionally they'll give us a child to look after as a little boy. Wynn in the corner there, Wynn's mother is in jail for human trafficking. And then we have our management committee that's right there taking care of everything. And I'm so pleased to say that all the staff is Cambodian, and I'm the only expat there, and I have Cambodian citizenship, and that doesn't even count. And so those wonderful people, as you watch the pictures, please pray. And those wonderful people, the one in the middle with the green top, she is the director of the rescue in Cambodia. And then we have an advisory board right there in Cambodia. We just set this up very recently. And 2 expats and 2 Cambodians, and so that with the local management committee and the advisory board, there were 10 people who will be making decisions together. And I always say there's only one Holy Spirit, and so we trust the Lord that He will guide us, and we will have no dysfunction, and it will just all get along really well together. And then we're now under the Great Commission Foundation, based right here in Abbotsford. And so they receive our donations. They send us a printout telling us who donated, and then when they need the money, they will send it to us to a special bank account. And I'm looking forward to a really good relationship with them. And in 2003, 2002, actually, we built those first little houses for AIDS patients. That was what we started out with, as the country then was in this AIDS crisis with up to 3% of the population involved. And so with so many AIDS patients, everybody had to do what they could. And so we built 16 small houses to receive families living with AIDS in crisis at that time. As the parents died, they left us their precious children. And I remember telling these people, waiting for those rice fields and saying how much I hope that in the future, I was thinking maybe 5 years down the line, we would have an orphanage where we could receive these children whose parents had died of AIDS throughout the country, not only from our own little houses there. And it wasn't long before God answered our prayers, and we had 10 houses, each house containing 10 orphan children with a loving house mom, and then 10 more houses were added, and at the first place of rescue, then we had 20 houses, each with 10 children. And then we heard about another place up north where the children were living in these abysmal little houses made out of thatch and tar paper, and when it rained, it flooded. And so they came under our banner, and then very soon after that, we were able to provide them with 10 lovely orphan homes. Again, in fact, there's 12 there, each with 10 children in each home. And then as time went on a little bit more, we heard about children in the town of Thailand living like this. If you can imagine that tiny little thatch house where Grandma was living with her 4 children in terrible poverty. The parents of the children had died of AIDS. And so there were other children in that community and in that province, in that area. And so we were able to provide, again, homes for them. And we built 10 houses, enough for 100 children, and we still have room to receive some more. And then we heard somebody donated a piece of land for us, and so Rescue Center number 4, where we have 2 homes like this. And please pray, we have not been able to put any children in those lovely little houses yet because we haven't got staff. We're very fussy about who we hire for staff. If we weren't fussy, we could be up and running. But what would be the good of that? We want good Christian people who will give our children the kind of care that they need. Then, of course, the children have a way of growing up. And so we built dormitories for university students in Phnom Penh and also in the country towards the north. And at the present time, we have now about 40 children who are in university. And still they kept coming. The house moms, poor things, they never have an empty nest. You look forward to saying, one of these days my children will be grown up. It's never happened. Because as soon as kids grow up, some more are added. And so they kept coming until we now have, in our care, counting the children, the grannies, and the adults coping with AIDS, we have 580 people we're responsible for. All of our children and adults are open for sponsorship, $50 a month to sponsor a child or an adult for a month. And would you believe, out of all of those people, we only have about 50 left. So please pick up a sponsorship if that interests you, $50 a month. We'll care for one child or one adult. I want to tell you about who's there. The question is why? Why do we have rescue anyway? Well, because there are moms like this who have children and the adults are infected with AIDS, and they spend all their money trying to get well, and then they have no place to live anymore, and they're too sick to work. If that's their condition, they come. But then it's not long before they're healthy, and the children are healthy, and the moms are healthy, and then they become staff, and they can help us work there. We don't send them away even if they're well, because there's no place to go to. A lot of our children are there then because their mom and dad died of AIDS-related, and some of these, like these kids, have been there for years and years since their moms died early on in the year 2000. It's very sad to see a child suffering with AIDS, and this is just some of the 4 years old children that we have on the property that are infected with AIDS, and they were very, very, very sick. But you know, I love before and after, don't you? This is before. It's a very recent picture of those same kids, and they're doing so well, they're happy, they're adjusted, they're feeling well, because they take the antiretroviral drugs every single day, and praise God, they're free for us. We don't have to pay for the drugs at all. As soon as they get off the drugs, they will die. They have to take them for every single day for the rest of their lives. Of the children, I want to put some faces on the statistics that we're telling you, and so during these next few pictures, please put these images in your heart. These are the kids that are there. If we have 580 people, we have 580 stories. So here's a few of them. Rosa, that came to us because his parents didn't want him after, his adopted parents didn't want him after they found out he was HIV positive. This little guy, I can't tell you all the stories, but I do want to say this one. His mom married or took as a husband this guy. The mom was infected with HIV, but she didn't want him to know. And so she didn't tell her husband, and she took herself off the drugs, because if he saw her taking medicine, he'd wonder what was going on. And so she lived with him. She had this. She became pregnant. Somewhere along the line, he found out she'd been lying to him, that she had AIDS, and so he left her. She went back to live with her mom and had her baby, and a month later she died, because you can't live without the drugs. And so they left this precious little boy who was just was taken very soon after we received him. His name is Samnan. Samnan means lucky. And the grandma and the aunties tried very hard to raise him, but you know what? It costs $60 a month for baby formula for one child. And so poor people, there's just no way. The poor, when they have a baby like that, they might boil rice down so it's just a milky, starchy fluid and feed that to the baby. Or they'll use sweetened condensed milk. Or you can sometimes buy little containers of milk. So they were doing their best to try to keep him alive, but it wasn't going to work a long time. And so we have this precious baby with us. Children whose mothers died, we love to take them. These are little twins, and the one died, and the grandma and auntie was looking after them. A lot of our kids come from that category. The parents have died, and then the grandma is sick and old and can't look after them, or they're put in a home with an auntie, but the auntie is too poor to look after them. And so the children are not well loved in that kind of a situation, where we're so glad to receive them. Mom died. Dad died. My mom committed suicide. You imagine that the trauma in a child like that has to be overcome, and only Jesus can heal them. This little guy, we got him when he was less than a day old, and his mom was completely deranged. She said she was going to eat him, and so we're so happy that didn't happen. And I wonder why Satan had such a bad plan for him. I wonder what God's good plan is for this child instead. I told him one day in privacy, whispered in his ear, "Dad, I love you special, but don't tell the other kids." So when I see him, he gives me that little conspiratory, that little grin. We have our little secret. One day after a long time, I asked him, "Do you remember?" And he said, "Yeah." Mom died, and Dad molested her sexually. Folks, this is the reason why sometimes they say, well, there's one living parent, they should live with their living parent. Yeah, if it's a really good situation and it's a really good father and maybe an exceptionally good stepmother, but a child living with her father and there's no wife around, it's all way too common that they will use their young daughters then. Everybody's living in one little place, you know. It's not like when you say house, you picture your house with a house and many rooms and a private bedroom, and daughter can even lock the door if she wants to. Not in this kind of a situation. They're living in one little place. And so the father, excuse me for being more blunt, but you need to know what goes on. Afterwards, she told me, she said to her friends, "My dad raped me." And her friends told teacher told the authorities, and they arrested the father, and he said, "I didn't rape her, I just lay down on top of her." So she came, she's living with us. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. She could be a model. She's tall and willowy. She's such a lovely girl. I'm so glad she's there. A lot of domestic violence in Cambodia now because of the drinking and because of the poverty. If they're already poor, then they're using up the little bit of money that they have for drink, and the situation just spirals out of control. And then husbands are beating up their wives, and then the wives take it out on the kids. These children's neighbors, they have a mom. They do have a mom, but the mom was beating them up so much, the neighbors said, please take these children because they're just starting to have emotional problems themselves because of the situation they're in. Moms go into crime, prostitution, drugs, unable to care for their babies. Yes, these kids have moms. The little girl looking so bright and happy there, doesn't she look eager and bright and smart? Her mom's in jail for drug trafficking, and her father's also in jail. A terrible story. I could give you more details at that time. The little boy, Joseph, his mom and dad were living literally on the street and into drugs and prostitution. And that baby living on the street and no money to care for it, he certainly would have died. Here's our little twins, Jinti and Janta. They were born, the mother died in childbirth. And then the father, when we called him, he was working in Thailand, and he said, oh, please just put them in an orphanage because I have another wife here in Thailand. Okay, now we come to what happens when a child is physically handicapped. They consider that this child is bad karma. And so whoever's going to look after this child is going to have bad luck. And so this lady, even though the mother had this child in an upscale hospital, she was obviously not a poor person, but as soon as she saw that her baby was handicapped, she walked away and left it. And then the hospital called us. That little cleft palate can be absolutely repaired, and you can hardly even see afterwards after they've had the operation. But the fact that she was born like this indicates that she has bad karma, so then they're afraid to look after a child who's handicapped because they think that's bad luck. They think you're suffering from previous sins, from a previous incarnation. And that's why we got Sarah. And her book has that picture in it. That's when she was just a tiny little baby. And look at her growing up so lovely. We hope that we can get her adopted to Canada, but that didn't work. And so she's there with us, and she's doing fine. She's learning a lot. She's smart. She's so smart. She's figured it out, how to work with her feet, using her feet, her toes like fingers. She's amazing. She does all kinds of things. She can write, she can color, she can do all kinds of things. She's very bright and happy little girl. Dad murdered mom with 3 families where the fathers murdered the mothers, and especially this little girl. Pray for her now in her heart. I think she's still finding it somewhat difficult because when she was 4, she saw her dad tie up her mom and then take a machete and hit her on the back of the head and kill her. And she saw this. She had 3 older brothers, and I know as the 4th child, a little girl, she will have been her mom's little sweetheart. And yeah, she is in a very good situation at the orphanage, a very wonderful, loving, wise house mom. And so she's in the best situation that is possible for her right now. But yeah, it's not easy, I'm sure. And then, how many of us are here with our gray hair? Well, those are your peers, folks. They're your Christian sisters who are living there in Cambodia. They come out of deep poverty, they come out of desperate circumstances. During the regime, and when the Pol Pot, when the Khmer Rouge were in power, many of the men were executed. We have one of the women who lost 7 babies during that time. All her children would be born and they would die. And so many of them, they lost their husbands during that time. And then as they grew older, there's nobody to care for them. And even sometimes if they do have families, sometimes their families have put them out and have rejected them. If they have health issues, it's very, very hard. Pray for our grannies, and if God touches your heart, we would love to have you sponsor them, and we have some pictures back there of the grannies. And so how do we deal with all of these sad things that have happened? Certainly everybody that comes to us has trauma. The children come with trauma, and sometimes we're questioned, what are you doing about it when they have trauma? Don't you have professional counselors? We don't have professional counselors, we have Jesus. And we have loving house moms who listen to the kids and talk to them and pray with them. And so the house moms, they devotions morning and evening, and they're very, very loving. Rescue centers are places of great love. And then the children, I'm amazed always when a new kid comes, because you'd think, that the 10 kids, 9 kids, whatever they are in a house and receive another new one, that it would take a little bit of time for them to receive the new kid, but that is absolutely not true. As soon as a new child comes, he just becomes part of the pack. I might go the next day after they've arrived and say, where's that new child? How's he doing? And they say, oh, he's off running with the rest of the kids. They immediately receive each other. And of course, all those children have come out of the same, similar kinds of trauma. And so they understand when a new kid comes, and so they minister to each other and help each other. It's very much in Cambodian culture. It's almost like part of their DNA that big kids look after little kids. And then Sakan, the director of Place of Rescue, is a very wise and wonderful, spirit-filled woman, and she gives wise counsel to the children if they indicate that they're not doing so well, or if they're doing something that's wrong, and we pick up on the fact that there's trouble. She is a very wise and good counselor. Our pastors, we have 2 pastors on staff, and so the children are ministered to in wonderful, wonderful ways by our Christian pastors. And being Cambodian, they understand what it's like to live in Cambodia, right? And they teach God's word from a Cambodian position. We have 2 pastors. One was trained in a Baptist school. One was trained in a Pentecostal school. So we have good balance. I'm a firm believer, and I bet you are too, that praise heals. There's nothing that is as healing as praising Jesus. It takes your focus on off all your problems and puts them on Jesus. And he's mighty and powerful, and he can solve every problem. Our young people lead the singing. We are so glad that our pastors do that. They encourage the young people to go ahead and lead the singing. And my very, very favorite thing ever to do is when all of us get together and we just sing and praise the Lord. And the Cambodians aren't the greatest singers. I mean, they would not win an award for good harmony or anything like that. But I know that they're winning awards with Jesus because they praise him with all their hearts, and it's so lovely to listen to. Then, besides that, we have good nutrition. That's what we care for them too, by giving them really good food. You can see they're all sitting on the floor on mats because we try very hard to keep them Cambodian. We try really to honor Cambodian-ness, if I can put it that way. Everything we do is in the context of how would they do it in Cambodia, so that the children don't become some kind of hybrid people that are half Western and half Cambodian and really don't know how to live in their own culture when they leave the orphanage. So we make it as much as possible a Cambodian place. And of course, the moms are Cambodian. They only know how to raise Cambodian children like Cambodians. And so I love that. I love the fact that they're always eating Cambodian food. They're always being cared for by Cambodian people. Also, we do get really good education. English is taught often by English teachers who come to volunteer for 3 months. So they learn English, they learn computer, and they have their grade 1 to 6. We have our own school right there on the property, and of course that is also taught by Cambodian people. You can see they're dressed like Cambodian school kids in their white tops and navy blue skirts or shorts. And as they grow up and they get all that training, and we would help them go on to university, wow, they start coming back to be on staff. And so now we have 7 of the young people that actually were trained, that actually lived in the orphanage. We paid for their university training, and now they come back to be at the orphanage and teaching preschool. The guy with the hat on is our ag guy. He's got a degree in agriculture, and he's come and help with that. And people ask me, what do you do? Because I'm obviously not the one who's bathing the kids or who's feeding them or cooking for them or doing any of those other things. But my wonderful, most favorite position is I'm there to be loved. Wow. Don't think I'm sacrificing. I'm there to be loved, and I'm there to love on everybody. And it occurs to me that as wonderful it is to me to be the object of their affection, it's wonderful for them too, because a lot of them come from situations where there wasn't much love. In a situation where there's so much domestic violence, there wasn't a whole lot of love left to shower on anybody. But when they come to rescue, they are greatly loved, and they're learning how to give love too. That's very precious. The kids won the soccer tournament, and so they all came trooping over, all the soccer players and their fans came trooping over up into my house with great excitement and joy to show off that trophy. And I just let them know how wonderful and exciting that was. Then they sang for me, and then they gathered around and prayed for me and for this trip. So it's absolutely wonderful to have that relationship. And then I do sponsorship matters with my assistant, Chantal, who's one of those young men who've come full circle back. He used to be at the orphanage, and now he said after he left, he prayed for 4 years that he'd be able to come back and work there. And then, of course, I do a lot of correspondence. I do a lot of emailing. And and Facebooking. Please, if you're not on Facebook, friend Marie Ens, and you'll get little snippets of information, both from me personally and especially just what's going on at the orphanage at any given day. Usually almost every day sometimes, a couple times a week. And then I show people around. We get lots and lots of visitors every year, maybe, I don't know, between 50 and 100 people coming around, groups coming around to visit. And I love to show them around, because whenever I show them around and tell them how wonderful God has been for us, it just makes me praise Him all the more for His goodness and for what He set up in such a wonderful way for us. And my most important visitor that came was the Prime Minister of Cambodia. A year ago last Christmas he came. They put out a big splash for our kids, and we had the privilege of showing him all around the property, and he was really impressed. He was so impressed that when he said goodbye, look at that gesture. Cambodians have this thing about you must never have your head higher than somebody that's more important than you. And so I was, bowing down so that my head would be lower than his, but look what he did. He bent right over so that he was purposely putting his head lower than mine. A huge, huge honor in a Cambodian context, huge honor. And folks, look how he got his hands around mine. He does not know me. He really doesn't, but he liked what he saw at Rescue. And so without him knowing it, he was really honoring the Lord. And I hope that this, also what you've seen today, will help you to say, Jesus is wonderful. Look how wonderful it is to have taken all those children into His care, to provide for them, to bless them and to lead them. So as we finish off now, if you know the song that our young people are singing for you in English, sing along with us, worship the Lord with us, and declare as they are declaring how good the Lord is and how well He's going to continue to care for us. If you're interested, please buy a book. Forgot the most important page. Here's what you can do. My goodness, how could I forget what you can do? You can pray, and I hope you're doing that, and I believe you are doing that. You can sponsor a child or an adult for $50 a month. There's pictures at the back if you want to take one. You can donate one time or regularly, and I have to be honest to say we're dependent on folks in Canada to help us, and thank you very much if you will do that today. You can have some kind of a fundraiser. Summer's coming, spring is coming. Why don't you have a garage sale and give the proceeds to Rescue? You've got a lot of stuff that you could just as soon get rid of anyway, right? You can quite gently use toys or other things and arrange for someone to bring them to us. We can invite me, as you have, thank you very, very much, or another representative of Rescue to come and speak to any size group. We will always be happy to provide something if you ask us. For your Sunday school project or your summer vacation Bible school project, how about asking us, do we have something that the kids could donate to? We've done this with kids buying diapers, providing diapers. So much money will buy a diaper and whatever. It makes it good. If you would like to teach and you have 3 months to volunteer, talk to me about that. We would love to have volunteers to come and teach English for 3 months. Or you can become a representative if you have time. If you have some time to give, please email me and tell me, and I'd love to discuss with you what would be involved for you giving us some time here in Canada. Not to come on a short-term mission to Cambodia, but to give us some time right here in Canada. And now, please worship together with our young people as they sing.